But phase one, it's one of the biggest deals ever made, and unbelievable for technology, unbelievable for the banking industry and services, and for the farmers. There's never been anything like.
I'd like to welcome everybody to the 5-Minute X Rapid series. Guys, I got massive news. Department of Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin, U.S. Treasury Secretary, says firms dropped out of Libra. Now, this is massive, guys. There's an unwritten rule. Do not try to compete with XRP. XRP is a made man now. So, guys, I got a hell of an interview right here, clearly stated by Steven Mnuchin, that if you are a cryptocurrency company, you should be registered with FinCEN. Ripple is registered with FinCEN since 2015 as a money transmitter business. On top of that, Steven Mnuchin says that you should be held to the standard. Clearly, he's talking about XRP.
A number of the Libra associations or associate companies have dropped out, including Visa, MasterCard, and Stripe, in large part because Sherrod Brown and Brian Schultz and some other congresspeople and policymakers wrote them letters saying, if you don't drop out, you're going to receive a lot more scrutiny. Do you think that's a fair approach? Some people said those letters were threatening.
Well, I wouldn't give them too much credit, because at Treasury we wrote letters as well, and we've been very clear. I've met with the representatives of Libra multiple times. I think you know that we oversee FinCEN, and we've been very clear with them, and you can call that threatening, that if they don't meet the standards of our money laundering standards.
Clearly, guys, right there, if you don't meet the standard, and he said we oversee FinCEN. FinCEN is a arm of the Department of Treasury, and that clearly brings me to this right here, guys. Executive Order 13772, Core Principles for Regulating the United States Financial System, is an executive order signed by U.S. President Donald Trump on February 3rd, 2017. One of the objectives is to streamline the financial regulation. Now, guys, if you clearly go down here, Trump as well assigned a task force in the U.S. Department of Treasury to report directly to President Trump. Here it is, the financial system that creates economic opportunities. And clearly, guys, Ripple is one of the participants. Ripple is right here on the executive order, and I believe this is page 194. And I will link this in the description. And actually, what's interesting is I noticed the bull, I don't think he highlighted MoneyGram, International Monetary Fund. Yep, he sure didn't. This was before the MoneyGram deal. And actually, guys, MoneyGram is in the executive order. So this is what I'm saying. The Department of Treasury is Steven Mnuchin. Steven Mnuchin is the Department of Treasury Secretary, the head of the Department of Treasury. In 2017, the Department of Treasury wrote the Executive Order Core Principles for Regulating the United States Financial System, which they call out Ripple by name. Now Steven Mnuchin comes out today and says, hey, we did send Libra letters. They are not registered with FinCEN, which Ripple is. I clearly believe there is an unwritten rule. Unwritten rule, do not try to compete with XRP. XRP is a made man now. Guys, this is massive news. And I will link this in the description too. Stephen the Bull, Executive Order Core Principles for Regulating the United States Financial System. Ripple is right there. So that's massive. And there's Prosper. That's Chris Larson's other business. Also, guys, the reason this is big because the news has been on fire for the month of October. Unprecedented joint statement from the SEC, CFTC, and FinCEN warn crypto industry to follow banking laws. This is what I'm saying, guys. Ripple's registered with FinCEN since 2015 as a money transmitter business. The Department of Secretary Steven Mnuchin just come out and says we oversee FinCEN, and if you're not registered with FinCEN, you will receive a letter from us clearly clearing the path for Ripple. I believe the Department of Treasury is working with Ripple. Matter of fact, they are working with Ripple. They're highlighted in the Department of Treasury executive order that Trump signed. And I believe that XRP is the standard for a level playing field. And this is why they came out with a joint statement right here. BIS, economies warn economies and the risk of global liquidity crunch. XRP is the key to liquidity. So this came out from the BIS. Now, shout out to the Joker at Joker_XRP.
But this is, we have a great economy, but we have a Federal Reserve that's not in step with the rest of the world. So I think they ought to get in step. And if they were in step, we would, regardless of the China deal is much more important than the interest rates. But because this has to do with more than trade, this has to do with world peace, this has to do with getting along, this has to do with the rest of the world. This isn't just a deal on trade. This has to do with a lot of friction, a lot of bad things that are happening in the world. So this is far more important than the Federal Reserve and interest rates. But the Federal Reserve should cut interest rates. Absolutely.
Wow. The world is being set for a level playing field. This is bigger than any of us. XRP will level the playing field for big firms. Volume through mass adoption will drive the price of XRP to record highs. It's only a matter of time. And I like to give a shout out to @Joker_XRP. And really quick, guys, you definitely want to follow @DIEPSANH @DOP. And I will link the rest of this in the description also. In an interview with CNBC, Steve Mnuchin, U.S. Department of Treasury Secretary, expressed his thoughts on recent exodus of companies from Facebook's blockchain project Libra. Mnuchin tells CNBC that he has met with representatives of the Libra multiple times. During those meetings, he has been clear with them that the U.S. government would take enforcement actions against them if Libra and its participants don't meet our money laundering standards and that standards that we have at FinCEN. The standards at FinCEN, guys. So basically, this is a mic drop moment. Steve Mnuchin pretty much backed up that you need to register with FinCEN. Ripple Labs is registered with FinCEN. Massive news. Clearly, the green light. Also, guys, I want to throw this in there really quick. Ripple, Coinbase invest in Mexico's biggest crypto exchange, Bitrue. Shout out to Bank XRP @BankXRP. Guys, we've been down this rabbit hole. Bitrue, Bitstamp, liquidity providers for XRapid. Now, what's ironic about this is Ripple and Coinbase invest in Mexico's biggest crypto exchange, Bitrue. Now, what interest would Coinbase have in seeing Mexico's biggest exchange, Bitrue, grow? It's simple. Coinbase is a XRapid partner and a liquidity provider. We've done this video numerous times, guys. I've always said Coinbase and Ripple Labs is on the same team. We should know that when Coinbase went live with international transfers of XRP, they went live with XRP in New York, and they use the same bank that Ripple uses. It's Clearbank, I believe the name of the bank is. So basically, they both have an invested interest in seeing that XRapid ecosystem grow. ODL, on-demand liquidity. Level playing field, AML, KYC, FinCEN. Now, the reason I say AML, guys, and KYC, for people that don't know, AML is anti-money laundering laws, and KYC is know your customer. Ripple Labs and Binance US partners with CoinFirm. CoinFirm is going to be your AML KYC company that's going to apply AML KYC to the transactions. The reason this is important is because after the 2008 financial collapse, through the Patriot Act, they implemented AML KYC to all banking transactions, Banking Secrecy Act. So basically, to make sure that terrorism don't use any avenues for money laundering or funding terrorism. So, to protect. So basically, they're going to implement these AML KYC laws, which FinCEN enforces, and Ripple's already registered with FinCEN in 2015. Clearly, Corey Johnson has said that Ripple Labs is working with the Trump administration. I truly do believe that, and I do believe that XRP will be the answer for a level playing field. Trump has accused China of currency manipulation and multiple sanctions. So the only way they can be on record for not manipulating currency is to use the Ripple net, and I believe they will. What do you guys think? AML, KYC, FinCEN, Steve Mnuchin, he dropped the hammer. And I think, guys, this is clearly shows the green light that XRP has the green light. It is FinCEN registered, AML, KYC compliant. Level playing field, executive order. The Dr. FOMO logo will come down right now. Smash that logo to subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate your time. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment. Is this Steve Mnuchin clearly giving the green light to XRP, or when he's highlighting the standard in the video, is he referencing the standard?
I wouldn't give them too much credit, because at Treasury we wrote letters as well, and we've been very clear. I've met with the representatives of Libra multiple times. I think you know that we oversee FinCEN, and we've been very clear with them, and you can call that threatening, that if they don't meet the standards of our money laundering standards and the